we're going live with episode 21 of the 421, starring Jayne Cobb and the co-host. You know what? This one's co-hosted by Crag. What's up? You're wearing the little Crag t-shirt today.
Oh, here, I'll let him talk. Ready? Everybody love this sight gag.
How do villagers speak? It's like I'm
gonna go cut my grass.
I made 4.3 million bells today in Animal Crossing, and I'm so fucking happy. That's a good segue. Oh my god,
That was fantastic.
So actually, in a few days, there's going to be a VOD going up of our most recent stream. It was a big Animal Crossing esports tournament that we threw on Seth Town, our little island that you've seen Crag on all of his adventures through.
Yeah.
But
Crag wasn't there.
One of the contestants in that contest is a old friend of mine from college, and today her turnip price before noon was 646 bells per turnip. And guess who happened to buy 10,000 turnips this week on the Stalk Exchange? Let me tell you, this morning I woke up, I didn't have to work today, so I woke up, I turned on Animal Crossing, I dug up my fossils, I did my daily shit, and I started to get worried because my turnips were only at 144 this morning. And I'm like, well, I could sell them now, but I'd only make like 900,000, like at most. So I could like sell enough to make up what I spent, and then I could keep the rest and hope to make a little bit more. And I was going back and forth with this for a while, and then around 10 o'clock, that contestant put on their Facebook, "My bells are going for 646 bells. If you would like to come sell, here is my dono code." I'm like, yes! I made it's up on my Twitter if you want to go see it. But I made 2.5 or 2.4 million bells there. And then the queue, when I arrived there, the queue in line was like one of four.
Mm-hmm.
So I got there pretty quickly. And I was like, okay, I need to hop off the island, get my other half of my bells, because I can only carry half of them there, or the other half of my turnips, and then go back. However, I was like, okay, that means I have to get out of the queue and then get back in. And when I got back in, it was like 11 o'clock, and there were 30 people waiting in line. And we all know how fucking Nintendo's multiplayer is, so I was like,
yeah, no.
I was like, no, that's going to take way too long. And I was like, well, I still have, half my bells. I'll hold out for the rest of the week and see what I can get. I've already doubled my investment.
Oh, tripled.
And then my other friend, who was supposed to participate Tuesday but didn't, posted that their bells were going for 250. And I'm like, you know what? That's enough.
It was 400 and something. I saw the post.
No, the original island was the 400 and some bells. On their island, it was 250 bells per turnip. So I still made like 1 point something million. Put up those pictures that were on my Twitter right here. So I made out like a bandit. I bought the final edition of my house, the basement. It'll be constructed tomorrow, and I could actually pay it off. But I kind of want to save the rest of my, I have 2.5 million bells left in my bank account. Kind of want to save them, put them all back in the stock market, and do it again. I think this is how you get gambling problems.
Yeah, the good news is we can have contests now. Again, we can have contests for a bit.
Yeah, just set aside a cool meal. I was actually thinking of setting aside, once my bank account hits, like, a comfortable sum of money consistently, I want to start funneling gold into Crag's house.
Yeah.
Just upgrade your house, when I find some cool
Every time we do a
shit.
tournament, there'll just be, like, a new addition to Crag's house. He's just become a pimp.
Dude, we could have the tournaments in Crag's house.
In?
Yeah, dude, that would be so sweet.
But can't you not do things in my house?
There's certain things we can't do in your house, but we'll work around that.
I'll have a gladiator pit in my living room.
Every time I see a wrestling thing pop up in my shop, I grab it for you.
I appreciate you.
Today there was a wrestling figurine there, and I was like, oh, that's going to look great on Dice's mantle.
I can't wait to see what my house looks like.
I can't wait to see. Yeah, exactly. Because you're not doing anything.
I ain't doing shit.
God damn it.
No, Dot finally came home for me, so I've been doing nothing but catching up with her.
Oh.
We started watching this show called The Misery Index.
The Misery Index?
So it's on True TV. If we're not allowed to say that, I'm sorry.
It's on what's a synonym for true?
Factual.
Factual.
It's on factual
television. Factual Nickelodeon. I think.
Nickelodeon is not the
No, I
equivalent
think
of
televisions used to be called Nickelodeons. Look it up. I
Anyway,
don't think that's right. The
I
more that I say it, but I feel like
I
I'm
think
on
a
something.
Nickelodeon was something that people went to.
It was a theater, but I think they
Yeah.
also.
I think it's what
Okay,
they called it.
keep telling your
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
I'm gonna do some.
I mean, it's not much of a
I'm
story. It's
going to
just
do
describing
some
the show.
researching.
It got Impractical Jokers on it. And it's basically it's like
Impractical
the Impractical Jokers.
is on True TV.
Well, one, the Impractical Jokers have always been on True TV.
Really?
Yeah, and for two,
For some reason, I always thought it was a bigger studio that owned that show.
no man. I mean, to be fair,
Like
the-
it's a big following.
it's a
It's not a cult following.
Here's the
It's
thing:
bigger than that.
it's a big enough following that it's popular, but at the same time, it's not a big enough following to the point where they're still able to get away with shit. Like, as a fan of them, I question the shit because I'm like, how the fuck, like, I'd be like, Sal, get away from me. Like, I'm not trying to partake in this today and stuff like that. I'm sure they run into that a lot, but I can't believe they still find people who don't know who they are. But obviously, there's a bunch of them who do. Anyway, the show's on True TV with them, and you get two Impractical Jokers on it. It's two contestants, and they show you miserable things that have happened to people. Like,
Wait, what? That's just a show? They show you miserable?
and you have to rate it. You have to
What?
give your opinion of where you think it lies on the misery index, and the therapist judge it. It sounds terrible, right?
That sounds awful.
But
Give me an example.
So-
what was your favorite one that you've heard?
well,
Or the best one that you can think of right now?
I went on a rant about how they don't take penis pain into serious consideration on some levels. So my favorite one I think I heard was there was a person who got caught cheating by his wife, so
Uh-oh.
she cut his dick off.
Mhm.
He then took his dick to the hospital, got it replaced. She snuck into the hospital and cut it off a second time
No.
and threw
No,
it
that's
into the
not
street
true.
so that it would be eaten. And it was eaten by like a raccoon or
No,
something.
that's not true.
It was a news article that they fucking put out there, and
Oh
it was-
my god.
and they had to rate what number of like from 1 to 100 you think it is, and it was like an 80. And they judge it on like physical pain, like physical trauma, emotional trauma, and long lasting, like how long it would stay with you. And it rated
Jesus.
like an 80.
Dude, the first time it would be mostly the physical pain. The second time you're probably real drugged up from the first surgery, so it's just the emotional pain. And then after that, it's just the long it covers
then
all the
it's
bases in
gone.
like 3 stages.
It's gone. There was 1/100 I saw. Spoilers for the
Whoa.
misery index, but there was 1/100, and I actually remember reading this article when it came out, and it is traumatizing. It was a man.
Do you want to give any trigger warnings before you tell this story? Or any content warnings?
If you have fear of surgery, don't listen to this.
Okay.
So, a
I
man-
already don't like where this is going.
Yeah,
this
this
is
is a-
already like making me
me getting put under is one of my worst fears in the world. I need to be conscious for anybody touching me. But basically, a guy was put under. He had gangrene in his leg,
Mm.
and the doctor went into the room and was set to amputate the leg. Halfway through surgery and beyond the point of no return,
Did he
he
amputate the
realized
leg?
he was amputating the wrong leg. So he had to finish amputating the leg and then amputate the leg with gangrene to stop the disease. The rate was 100 of waking up and realizing you have no legs. Not only have you accepted that you were losing one, but now you have none after a nap. That is scary.
Did they say what happened to the doctor after?
No, that's
That's
the part I want to know.
Oh.
That's malpractice.
Yeah, that's like, how good was this dude's malpractice insurance? That's my question. All right, doctor amputates wrong leg, but both leg.
But then my problem with the show was like, at one point there was like something about this new fad about penis bleaching, and how
What?
and okay, just it's anal bleaching, but it's penises.
Okay, I mean, I guess you could.
And the funniest joke on the Impractical Jokers was, why would you want a white one? But So they were talking about the penis bleaching, and I was like, man, that would burn. Like, if somebody got burned, like really bad, and I was like, oh, that's gotta be like a 62. I was like, that's gotta be
That's
like
a
a
chemical
7.
burn on your dick.
I was like, it's gonna be like a 74 or something like that. And so at one of the mini games, you have to rate. They give you 2 traumatizing things, like just randomly, and you have to rate where it lands, either before them, in between them, or after them. And sending a nude to HR was rated a 70. And honest to God, I still don't think it would have been nearly as bad. Like, it's not a 70, right?
No.
Like, I can't help but say it, and I'm sorry, Joey, if you listen, but if you saw my dick, I'm not going to be as upset if my dick got burned by chemicals. But, oh no, like, dick burn was rated 56, and I was like, show me the people who've never had pain in their dick. Like, God damn it. I'm telling you this is worse. One of them was like, a guy got his nut stuck in an IKEA chair, and I was like, that's mentally traumatizing. I wouldn't sit on anything with holes in it ever again.
Like, nope, not that.
And it was rated like a 42.
Wait, was the hole like in the seat and it just went?
Yeah, it was a shower chair. So like, his parts had fell through the holes already, and the heat caused them to expand. So he went to stand up, and the chair came with him. So they had to basically put ice on his balls so they would
I
shrink.
had to give him a cold shower. Oh my god.
Okay, but that was. I'm glad you made a million bells and I got traumatized with a bunch of shit. I'm gonna watch the rest of the season later this week.
Oh my god. That seems like a good place to stop and let me text my wife.
Yeah, you could stop right there, but we could talk about some of the shit we've noticed this week since we shot the podcast a little bit later. Like, if you haven't heard, and if you are a Disney Plus owner, and if you're not a Disney Plus owner, but you're a musical fan, fucking Hamilton movie is coming way earlier than expected, and is coming to Disney Plus on July 3rd. And being that it's on the top 3 of my favorite musicals of all time, we are having a giant watch party because I already hit up Mama Dice for her goddamn contact information.
I'm excited.
Original
cast.
Oh, the original cast. It's going to be so good. I haven't seen this since a bootleg on YouTube.
I didn't watch that bootleg on YouTube.
I did. I sat down in Chia's house at like 7 o'clock in the morning because I got a message saying there's a bootleg of it on YouTube, and it was on my Facebook, and I went down and I watched it all before it got taken off.
Nah.
I don't know if we should put that in, but I fucking did it. I'm proud of it.
People are already aware you bootleg shit.
Wow.
Come on.
No.
Come on.
They wouldn't be if you'd shut your whore mouth.
You're a millennial.
Shut your whore. Now you think Salty got kicked off the ground. Anyway. But yeah, no.
By stealing content? Is that what you're saying?
By playing. Anyway, don't make me incriminate myself on the 21st episode.
Ooh, we could do a noir episode.
Noir. Name all the bad shit you've done so that the fucking FBI can hear this and come get you.
Nah, I think they're busy with other shit right now.
Maybe not. Anyway, Hamilton. July 3rd.
Oh, it's going to be so fucking good.
I'm super excited.
RTJ4 is coming out like the day after, I think? Isn't it June?
Well, Hamilton's coming out on July 3rd.
Oh.
Because
RTJ4
on July 4th, everybody's going to watch it.
Release. RTJ4 is June 5th.
June 5th.
It's going to be so good.
I can't wait. That's going to be a listen party. That's where me and Colby just get into Discord and listen to the CD and don't talk to each other except for going, ooh, did you hear that shit?
Oh, we have to start at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be blissful. Maybe by then we'll actually be able to have gatherings of people. Maybe we could have a small gathering of people.
Yeah, we do have a number of friends who actually listen to RTJ. I don't see the watch party being huge, but I see RTJ4 being a lot bigger.
Absolutely. What else new is coming out? The fucking new Origami Mario.
Yeah, new Origami Mario, which I hope...
Paper Mario, the Origami King.
Dumb. Or King. Is it just the King? Because this showed off Peach's castle.
It's just the Origami King. Because that king was the guy with the swoop that you saw.
Oh, yeah. That was a swoop.
That was a swoop. I was like...
That was a triangular cut.
At first, I thought it was Rosalina, and then the swoop just, like, stayed there, and I was like, Sephiroth? Dude, if they brought Sephiroth into the Mario world, that would be dope.
I just really hope...
I'm all for it.
I just really hope combat goes back to how it was from, like...
It still looked turn-based from what we saw.
So, In
except for that one little wheelie bit.
what was the name of it? In the name of color, in the game of Color Splash.
In the name of Color Splash.
That was the last Mario, Paper Mario. It came out on the Wii U. It had this weird,
I've never even heard of it.
because it wasn't great. Like, it was different. It was better than the sticker star one on the Game Boy, but like, it hasn't been good since the Wii one, and even some people have the preference on there. But this one is the Color Splash was you had cards you had to fill with ink. And then you had to use the cards, and you only had so many cards, and you had to refill cards, and always have cards.
It
If you
sounds
didn't
like
have
that
cards,
shitty
you had
Kingdom
to
Hearts game.
Yeah, it really was. And it's, the one fucking Kingdom Hearts game that I hate replaying.
It's the one Kingdom Hearts game I actually bought on Game Boy Advance to try it out, and I was like, this shit sucks.
And I've only beat it once on the Game Boy Advance. Because I tried playing it recently, like normal, on the PS4 remake one that I have, where it's all 3D and shit like that. And I'm like, you made it worse. Now I just run around and miss with my cards that I have a limit of.
But yeah, I think the enemy looks cool. I like the idea of the shape-shifting ability.
Like, the Color Splash's story wasn't.
Oh, I'm not talking about Color Splash.
I
I'm talking about
know.
the new one now. I'm trying to realize.
I'm trying to compare, because, like, that's the thing. This Paper Mario has a legacy. Like, the first one and the second one were fantastic. Like, hands down, some of the best games Nintendo might have ever created. The third one, like I said, it has some people have critics, but I fucking loved it. I love the one that was for the Wii, and that's just Super Paper Mario. The Game Boy one, the Sticker Star one or whatever it was, it lost a lot of people. It wasn't that appealing. And Color Splash, everybody hated it. But it had good things that, like, Sticker Saga didn't have, but everybody hated the combat.
Just because you do better than your previous shitty game doesn't
Yeah,
mean you get praise.
And that's it. Like, if you're coming back with another one, the Switch has done a really good job of making content and improving even some of the shittier things that have come out in recent years, because the Wii U was pretty much a laughing stock.
Yeah.
So, I want this to be like, bring me back. Let me feel like Thousand Year Door again. Let me feel like I did when I played the Zelda game, Breath of the Wild. When I played that, it felt like old Zelda, and I loved it.
See, Mario is a weird franchise for me because I played the early ones to death. I played like on the NES, and the Super Nintendo, and then I didn't play another Mario game until probably Mario Maker, when you started up. When I started doing those streams with you guys. I didn't like. I had always loved the old games, like,
You
because they held
3D Mario.
Yeah, pretty much. I played a little bit of Mario 64, but I didn't own a 64, so I didn't get to, like, play it through to any sort of completion. So it was never a thing for me. But then, like, now I'm getting back into Mario. I don't know if you consider the Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle game.
It's a good game.
It is a great game.
It's a good game. Like, that game won
I wouldn't consider it
awards.
like a mainline Mario
It's
game.
not mainline. It's not canon in any way, but it is a good game. It is a fantastic game, and it's Mario. But Mario having a gun will never be canon.
Never ever.
To be honest, play Mario 64. It's not. I mean, it's a good game.
Again, they already took out the port. Well, not yet, but Nintendo's cracking down on that emulator. Keep that in.
Shut up, man! Not after the bootleg bullshit.
At the IRS. IRS, sponsor us.
What is it? Super Mario Sunshine is a classic. It's irritating. No matter what anybody fucking tells you, that game is irritating, but it's a classic and it's worth playing. I personally love Super Mario Galaxies.
See, I don't think I ever got into that shit because I'd never liked the motion controllers. Like, it was
When you play by yourself, it doesn't matter that much. me and Cap, and this was before tall drinks of water and shit like that. We would, like, worry about our bodies and drink a lot of water. We were just downing pop as, like, kids and, like, renting games from Melody. We rented, as me and him together, we rented Super Mario Galaxy 1. We went home, sat down on Friday night, and he stayed over my house until Monday morning and went to school with me. And we sat down and beat that entire game twice, because you had to not only beat it as Mario and get every star, but then you had to beat it as Luigi and get every star. I think we slept for a total of 30 minutes.
I remember those days.
I miss those days.
I remember one of my favorite gaming memories is back when I was young. It was a vacation Bible school that my church did, and the pavilion was out back, and they had all the sound equipment set up because they were doing outdoor sessions and all that shit. But they had to leave it all out there, and because that church had, when it was being built, when that church was being built, it was broken into, and somebody like took all the paint and extra supplies and like lit a fire in the fucking not congregation hall. What is it?
I don't
What
know
is that thing
churches.
called when you sit in a church? The middle of the auditorium?
Pew?
The pew. They lit a fire in the middle of the fucking church, and we had to clean it and shit. And so they were like very hesitant about just leaving the equipment out. And so me and a couple of my buddies volunteered, like, "Yo, we'll sleep out here. Like, we're gonna pitch a tent right there." There was a projector that set up for like worship music lyrics and shit. But we plugged my PS2 into it and played Soul Calibur all night on my PS2. And we ran through the story mode, and we did 1v1s, and we like knew where they hid the candy for some of like the little kids games. So we would like grab handfuls of Fruity Tooties, and we would like
Fruity Tooties are the fucking best.
and we would use them to like bet on matches and shit, and it was so fun. It was me and I think it was like 4 other guys, and it was one of the greatest things because for 3 nights we just stayed out, chilled, and played video games all day and ate candy all night. Or I guess played video games and candy all night, and then did good Christian things during the day.
Oh, I miss being young.
Right?
Oh, to be, I
And
guess, 15 again.
You know what fucking sucks, and I hate saying it out loud?
What?
It's that old adage, like you always say that you want to grow up when you're young, and then when you're
Oh,
old,
shut
you
the
want.
fuck up. Of
It's-
course
it's-
it's true. Of course it's true, but everybody knows it's true.
Okay, well, fuck. Maybe there's some of our younger viewers that haven't heard it yet because they grew up with TikTok instead of.
There's so many songs out now that say fucking appreciate it. If they haven't learned to appreciate it, just appreciate it. I appreciated
Appreciate?
my fucking childhood. I was always told to appreciate the shit. I really did. That's why I want to go back.
Nah.
That's why I never got why people hate their high school. Like, I was an outcast who got into fights, and I still... There's days I would love to go back and just perform on that fucking theater again. I'd love to go back and say what up to the teachers again. Shit like that. Like, I didn't have a bad time because I appreciated it.
I didn't have a bad
I
time.
also
but
thought I was going to die before I was 25, so I was appreciating everything.
I didn't have a bad time, but I certainly didn't have a good time.
I don't know.
That throw.
Like I said, there were days I hated it, there were days I loved it, but there's days I hate my life now, and there's days I love my life now.
Yeah, there's a little more gravity to it now, though.
I mean,
Although, I guess I haven't tried to kill myself as an adult.
I'm about to say,
so
like,
there's- I
to
guess
be
it's
fair-
not that much gravity.
same here. I mean,
You have more context.
yeah, I have a lot more context. As a kid, I was more prone to do. Oh, I don't know if we should talk about that shit. But,
Yeah, that
like, as a kid, I was more prone to fucking be like, haha, this is the answer. Now I'm an adult. I'm like, that's stupid.
that's not helpful.
That solves nothing. That causes more
But
problems.
that's not a part of becoming an adult either.
No, it's not.
That's our personal progression into adulthood. Let us make that clear.
That was us.
Yeah.
That also doesn't have to go in, but that was us.
Geez, how do you pivot off of fucking suicide? Ooh, band name, call it
Pivot suicide.
Suicide Pivot.
Oh, that could be like a weird Christian band.
Suicide? No, it could not be a
Suicide,
Christian
but Suicide Pivot, like think about it. That's like the
band.
definition.
No. You could not put.
You're
You
killing
could
yours-
not. You could not make a Christian band with the word suicide in the name. You would not get picked up by any labels. I mean, anybody could make a band with that name, but you're not gonna get picked up. At least not by a Christian label.
Well, I mean, is Shinedown owned by a Christian label? Because they were a Christian band.
They were. I don't know if they were ever signed to a Christian label.
So I could still be a Christian band and be named Suicide something.
What do you mean?
Is this like the trigger warning episode now?
Jesus
Because we said that a lot.
I'll put a content warning at the beginning of the episode.
There is a part where we talk about a band name.
We'll call it SP. No, that sounds like Sex Pistols. Damn it.
Yeah, we definitely can't do that. They are a lot more famous than us.
Ooh, sponsor us.
No,
Why?
I wasn't a big fan.
I mean, I don't even know. I couldn't name a song
Nah,
by the
that's a
fucking
lot.
Sex
I
Pistols.
like their music. I think
What songs did the Sex Pistols have on Guitar Hero?
on Guitar Hero.
Yeah, that's what I would know. What's their most famous song?
You can't fucking call me. I mean, I know I'm a millennial, but you can't call me a millennial and then be like, "What was their thing on the Guitar Hero game?"
I'm totally a fucking millennial too.
I only know music because Guitar Hero, Raining Blood. Diddly 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 diddly.
No, I know the song "Raining Blood" because back when I was
back in
9,
back in Bible camp, they used to play it outside
back
when
when
we
I
stay up and eat fruit duties.
it wasn't 9, it was when I would have been in like 6th grade to middle school age. I had a friend named, we'll call him Dom. And he told me a story about how his then girlfriend broke up with him because he played her "Raining Blood" over the phone on his electric guitar. And I'll admit, he was a pretty good guitarist at that point. But was he "Raining Blood" good? I don't think so. And I guess that was just the last straw of their relationship.
Oh my god,
Remember problems that we thought were problems like way back when?
dude! Oh no. I was just talking to Mama Dice about this. I was like, I was watching this video, and it was this kid who was like had to be like 12 or 13 or something like that, and he broke his phone on purpose to get his mom to buy him a new phone and shit like that, and was calling her all kinds of stuff. And I know I never acted that bad, but like it made me think of like any time I ever might have thrown a tantrum in my life, and like anytime I do that, I have to call my mom and be like, "Listen, I apologize if I was ever like a fucking prick over something so minuscule as a glass of water or something like that."
Mm-hmm.
I hate thinking like that. I hate thinking I ever was that.
There's an understanding between my mother and me that I was an absolute fucking problem child. But there was a moment where like a switch flipped and then everything just kind of like leveled out. And I before we had talked a little bit about like what to do for this podcast, and we had considered Mother's Day that had passed. And so one of the things I was thinking of was like one of my favorite like moments with my mom.
Mm.
And it's like it's one point in our relationship that I remember like very very clearly. It was way back when we lived in the trailer. I was in 7th or 8th grade at that point. I remember specifically because up to this point, me and my mom fought a lot because I like to wear the spiky belts that you didn't even like wear in your belt loops. You just like let it hang down near your butt because they looked cool. And then you could wear a second belt to actually hold your belt. And it was the whole thing. And I like to wear like eyeliner and nail polish. And I was a big punk. Or I was a big emo. Let's be real. I was a big
I get
emo.
it. I know.
I like
what
to
you
wear
were.
my hair long and shit.
I know what you were.
And she
Well, I
fought me on
didn't
every
know,
step. And then I just remember like one day, like we had a fight the night before, and she like made me like take off all my eyeliner and use nail polish remover and shit. And then I remember we all went to bed, and then I did my nails again that night because fucking. And I remember like getting up the next morning, and I remember my nails were painted, and I remember being like, "We're gonna get into a big fight today," and we didn't. She just didn't mention it. And then she didn't mention when I put my eyeliner back on and when I started doing like all the other cool emo shit that I did back then. And like it was like a point of I don't know if it was a point of her realizing that like I was really trying to do my own thing, and she started like kind of respecting that a little bit and just kind of like giving in. And like we didn't really fight anymore. We started seeing eye to eye. We started having more conversations of like I am not the things that I do and wear. And there's another, I'll tell this story as well because it's one of my favorite memories of my mom, even though I wasn't really a part of it. I remember I used to have a big blue mohawk, and that was my haircut for a long time. And I went to a very conservative Mennonite church. So it turned a couple of heads, And I guess one day my mom was in the restroom, and there was another mom like with her young daughter in there. And they were talking about what they thought Jesus looked like. And I'm like, oh, that's really cute. And I guess the mom was like, well, what do you think Jesus looks like? And the little girl was like, I think he has a big blue mohawk. And my mom told me that story, and I was like, yeah, Jesus looks like me.
Jesus looks like me. Isn't that a God complex?
It was, no, it was more of like, God created us all in his image. So I think hearing that made my mom like start accepting me also a little bit more in those choices that I made. I love you, Mom. Happy belated Mother's Day. I'm sorry that Zoom call was really shitty.
I love you too, Mom. I see. It's hard for me to find a favorite story with my mom because anytime I can't think of a time that I've gone through in my life where I wasn't happy, I wasn't sad, I wasn't angry, that my mom hasn't been right next to me, even if it wasn't like even if I've been here, even if I've been anywhere. Like I am not what you think of when you say a mama's boy, but I am 100% a mama's boy, like through and through, even through all the shit. I did the same thing. I had the big fucking huge emo. I had one pair of big fucking huge emo pants. Right.
The
Huge
what were they called?
baggy.
Jinko?
I-
Jinko jeans? No, not
but
Jinko.
they were off-brand.
They were,
But like
they were the kind that
they
you got
had
like. They were at Spencer's, but they were on the next rack back.
they were at Hot Topic, but
Oh, I remember buying skinny jeans from Hot Topic.
see, I hated skinny jeans, and I think my mom
Oh, me
loved the fact that I never got into skinny jeans.
No, I have fat fucking thighs from being a Mennonite. I'm gonna blame it on that as well.
I didn't start wearing
I-
tighter shit until I got older because I used to wear bigger clothes, so you didn't know I was buff underneath. So when people fuck with me, I could beat them. I could just destroy them because they weren't expecting it. That was my whole ploy. I looked small, so everybody was just like, fuck them. But no, and like, there's not a moment in my life where my mom has never come through and seen me through with it. And every happy, like, there's countless memories of old salty streams where Mama Dice has come over and hung out, and we've laughed and bullshit every time we have a conversation. We just make each other laugh, and even when we yell at each other, there's always this immediate connect of I let that go on you, and not that you deserved it, and. That comes with the way my family grew up, though. I mean, you know, there's no comparison, and I'm not going to talk about it here, obviously. But we had a common thing that united us.
Yeah.
So it was nice. I never had that. I want to play drums. All right, well, let's go look at how much a set is. All right, I never really did the eyeliner thing until I was in the actual wrestling, and at that point, and that's when I got into like, it's not. And we're like in theater too, and it was like it's not that I'm emo or anything like that, or that I'm super emotional, because that wasn't my thing. I was the Juggalo outcast, and you want to talk about I'm not what I wear or not what I listen to. You want to have that I'm crying and cutting my wrist and stuff like that music of back in the early 2000s emo music. Try trying to convince your parents that you're not an Insane Clown Posse just rip off fucking outcast character. So come on, listen, black my eyes. I'm gonna go out and kill everybody in the fucking world, and I'm going to fuck dead animals and shit like that, because that's what apparently they think I see people. But oh, where was I going with this? Yeah, I was never that, and it was just always that understanding. She never questioned it. She was like, anytime she was ever worried about me or a decision I made, she just would go, "Are you sure this is what you want to do?" And if my mom said that to me, if you said that to me, we are very close best friends. If you said that to me, my usual response would be, "Fuck yeah, I know that's exactly what I want to do." But if my mom says it to me, I'm like, is it? Am I sure? Am I 1,000%? Did I think every fucking aspect through? Because she sees something I don't. What am I not seeing?
If you haven't told your mom Happy Mother's Day yet, go do that.
Call your mom. Give her a call. Fuck it if it's not Mother's Day. Your mom deserves a call. Give her a call.
Yeah, you know what? That doesn't matter what date you do that on. Give your mom a call.
Call your mom.
It'll make her day. Unless you know it won't make her day. There are some moms who don't deserve a call, and that's okay too.
Take a moment if your mom's not with you as well. Think about her. Remember her greatness. And if you're one of the moms who never deserve, or if you're one of the moms, but if you have one of the moms that don't deserve a call whoever you think does deserve it.
That's your homework today. Call someone.
Call someone who loves you. Not someone you love, someone who loves you. Honestly. There we go.
That's the most fucking peaceful outro we have ever done. Be sure to like, follow, and hit that bell for notifications. You don't have to leave a comment, but if you want to tell a nice story about your mom in the comments, do that.
Definitely hit that like, though. YouTube algorithm.
Yeah, that's way more important.
Yeah, we really gotta
hit the subscribe button too. We have to hit at least 421 subscribers so we can release some sweet content.
Yeah, we were being nice about the whole wholesome thing, but yeah, we need help still.
Yeah.
Tell your mom or whoever you call to do this thing.
We love you very much. Bye-bye.
See you guys.